Um, so yeah, I do have some subjects
Okay, well, let me
to
play the theme song
discuss.
and we'll get into it. Let me play the theme song and we'll get into it. I'll give you the old countdown.
Maybe I'll hear it, won't I?
No, you never hear it, dummy.
I fucking heard it last time.
You heard the theme song last time.
I am
Absolutely heard the
super
theme song
You
last
don't
time.
hear it now, though?
ethereal.
Nope.
I wonder how we did that. You really heard it.
I heard the whole thing. Remember I said we'd be talking over it right now?
Oh, wow, I gotta figure that out.
Hey, how are you? How you guys doing? We're Super Serial here. I'm
Hey,
your host, Joe Hutnick, and
welcome.
I'm here with Jake Eastwood, my guest.
It's you're here with Joe and the kid.
Joe and the kid. I love it.
Oh
Dude,
man,
I was planning on doing that for a minute, and I just felt it.
you just felt it.
I've been thinking about doing that for a while to you.
Um, so so zit update. I got a big old zit on my nose.
Oh, look at that plumper.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing: is the Lost Pot did it for anybody listening. Did a wonderful podcast with Johnny yesterday. Finally got him back on the show, and my hard drive crashed and I lost everything. So if you hear that, it will be long after I have many a Patreon subscriber and I'm making lots of money off of whatever, and
And
feel
I'm
like
able to pay for
and
it.
feel not only am able to pay for it, feel justified in spending the $100 to $200 it's going to cost for somebody to open up the hard drive in a clean room and get the 5 gig video file off of there.
Is that really how they do that?
Yeah, because it's a gold plated mirror finish
Yeah.
disc that's in there, and nothing can like even land on it. Otherwise, like they have to take it apart and like rebuild it into a new hard drive to be able to get the data off of it. You're breathing into the mic, Chief.
It's my hand thing again. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But yeah. So
I'm not gonna
anyway,
stop.
the zit on my nose was a topic of discussion briefly, and I guess I don't need to update it since nobody's going to hear that for years, maybe.
There you go.
But I
You were
but
gonna do zit updates?
yeah, not seriously, but I did pop it, and now it is in the scab phase, and it's just red, and
Don't rub it, bro.
I'm
Don't
not,
touch it.
it's fine. I know how to handle a zit, Joe.
Okay. You're right.
I am an adult.
I'm an adult.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Fantastic.
you had some topics you wanted to discuss.
Dude, I saw this news article today, right, about this species of alligator. It was actually a different thing, but I might get to that. The species of alligator, okay, it lives in these caves in Gabon or something like. I think it's pronounced Gabon. Fumes
Okay.
circulating inside of it. It's this crazy, crazy cave. They go into the cave and they said there's this crazy like liquid mud. It's like this funky liquid mud, and it's not mud. It's bat guano. They discover,
Ooh.
bro. They discover this alligator, or no, I'm sorry, it's a crocodile. It's an
Okay.
African dwarf crocodile, and they've grown above ground. When they went into several cave dwellings, right? The population is unique genetically, and they were discovering after testing it, they were able to collect up to 30 to 40 blood samples of individual ones in the dark cave and everything like that.
So they're
Okay,
cave crocodiles.
they're cave crocodiles, dude. And there's 10 to 12 different there's 10 to 12 different cave tunnels and everything like that, and they were
Okay.
able to just do it out of this area where they didn't want to get lost. They didn't want, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
They're all specific, dude, and they got the blood samples from over 200 of the ground ones. Very, very similar, right? This DNA sequence of the population, researchers found to have a very specific, unique gene that is
Hmm.
inherited by a single parent. Okay,
Whoa.
yeah, so listen, as a result of the
So it's a
isolation, the
dominant
fact that
gene then.
it's a
That's
dominant
basically what that
gene.
means.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a dominant gene. As a result of that isolation and the fact that few individuals come in or out, so that means that ground crocodiles aren't going in anymore,
Okay.
and the other ones aren't coming out. So
Okay.
the gene is
Now, when you say ground crocodile, is that as opposed to like a aquatic crocodile?
I'm thinking that, well, it's a jungle. I believe it's in a jungle. I believe they said it was in a jungle.
Okay, so they live primarily on land versus
Yeah. I mean, well,
living
I'm sure
in
there's
the
got to be
water.
water around, dude, because they eat fish. It actually goes on to talk about that.
Okay.
Um, the processing, they're basically becoming a new species, bro. They're becoming a new
Whoa.
species. Yeah, and they said they don't. Whenever it happens, soon or not, is anyone's guess because it's an evolutionary trait. Okay, unlike forest-dwelling dwarf crocodiles, which feed primarily on fish and crustaceans, I think I'm about to lose you. I got an
I
unstable
can. No,
internet
you're good.
connection. The cave population primarily eats bats, and they
What?
think that that might be one of the reasons, one of the original reasons why they migrated into the cave system itself. Then this is the quote, this doctor quotes as saying there are tens of thousands of bats in the cave. And
So
the
just
researchers
plenty
analyzed
of food.
plenty of food, dude, plenty of
And
food,
what do
and
they
probably
just
not
get
a
them
lot
while
of
they're sleeping,
predators.
or?
I don't know. They found the skeletons of fur of bats, and that's what they eat. They're eating bats and everything. Now this is the crazy part.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the crazy part.
The bat guano that they're living in is largely comprised of urea, a nitrogen-rich chemical found in urine.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're sitting in the bat guano slushy, we think it's a highly basic pH water and is tanning their skin. Dude, these crocodiles are like orange.
What?
I wish I had a freaking picture to show you, dude. They
What?
have like this weird orange skin because it's actually like almost like bleaching their skin and everything.
What? And is it
Yeah.
affecting their genetics?
It's basically I think it's going to have more to do. I really don't know what the hell do I know, dude. I'm not a scientist.
So all right, so what my first question is the dominant gene that you talked about, what does that dominant gene determine?
That's what I don't know.
Okay.
This is just a quick article that I read about how they're actually going to, I can probably find it on here.
So
They're going to be releasing their information, and they're going to be talking about it more so their findings
okay,
and everything like
so
that.
let's so
They're
we'll
still in the
revisit
middle of the
this.
study.
So we'll revisit this, but do me a favor. I'm going to write
Yeah.
down, and you do me a favor and also write down the questions I'm about to ask in case I lose my copy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Questions about cave crocs.
Yeah. You're
What?
frozen, by the way. I can't. You're not moving at all on my screen, but we'll keep moving on because I can hear you fine.
Okay. So, yeah, questions about cave crocs. What does that dominant gene do?
Yep.
Gene do. So, could it just be that they don't know what the gene does, but they just see there's a difference? Like that's a genetic difference from other crocodiles that they know about that are in the area, and they don't necessarily know what it does. They just know that it's a difference, and they know that it's a dominant gene. I think that could be the. I think that could be what they're saying.
The study is.
Well, yeah, but I mean, when they study their genetics, they're just like, oh, there's a difference. There's a genetic difference from the other crocodiles in the area, and this genetic difference only isn't, it's a dominant gene, meaning that it can be taken from only one parent. But you know what else that means? I'm pretty sure that means that genetic variation can quote unquote infect the other crocodiles in the area.
Right, absolutely. Because if it's an evolutionary trait, it definitely could.
Well,
Yeah.
but because it's a dominant gene like that, because only one of the parents needs to have it for the offspring to have the gene.
To have the gene as well, yeah.
So if one of them wanders out or one of the other crocodiles wanders in, and they
gets pregnant and then leaves, or vice versa, yeah.
Right.
Yes. So I've got maybe 3 pages of stuff on here, but I just highlighted like specific parts.
Well, that's wild.
There really isn't.
So they're orange. That's the crazy part, is that they're orange crocodiles, and they are a new species.
Not totally orange. They're not totally orange. There's orange bleaching on their face in certain areas and everything like that. It's kind of You could probably look something up.
So they're probably eating, because I know when things eat bats in caves, it's typically the bats that fall off of the roof of the cave, the ceiling of the cave. They'll fall down and they'll get stuck in the guano that's all along the floor, and then they can't get back up, and like beetles and shit will eat them. And there's like other kinds of species that live primarily in caves. I think it was probably on the first planet Earth or something like that. They talk about all the ecosystems that exist within caves, and a lot of the things that are carnivorous will just eat bats that have fallen. And that could be what they're doing. They could just be scavenging fallen bats, because there's no way they're climbing up the walls and eating the bats or catching them out of the air. There's no way. Yeah. They're just catching ones that fall down. I would assume not, but Jake, you know what? How are you going to tell me evolution couldn't make a fucking crocodile that can crawl up it? Those things are dinosaurs. That's the thing that intrigues me. That would be badass. That was where my mindset was. I'm like, all right, well, animals could evolve to do anything. This is the basic idea of this my thought of why I brought these couple things to the table is how crazy evolution and animals are. Yeah. That's the whole reason why I brought this up as a subject, because I wonder if eventually, if that happens with, see, that's what I don't understand evolution enough to even know whether or not this is a dumb thing to say, but I wonder if somehow the orange skin could somehow affect their genetics. You know what I mean? Like if somehow through epigenetics there's some. I don't think so though. I don't know. I don't understand epigenetics enough. There could be some sort of melanin genetic marker that affects, I don't know. In the same way that if you and your wife are both heavy, athletic, you're freezing. Anyways, so I was saying that in the same way that, if you and your wife both are like heavy exercisers,
Exercising peach.
there's
Yes,
certain
exactly.
things
My
that
kid is
turn on
gonna.
in
Yeah.
your genetics, but I don't know
Yeah.
if like your skin being, a whole species skin being, I don't know. It's probably.
I just want to thank you real quick for saying heavy athletic people and not just saying heavy people.
If you and your wife are both great big
They're
fat
both
people,
big fat assholes.
you're
Your
just
son's
big
probably gonna be a
fat.
fat asshole.
You're both just big fat dumb idiots. Then your kid will probably
yes,
be just.
I agree with you. Yes, genetically, that's exactly how we understand that works and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious to look it up. I've saved the article. I've got the information. I want to look it up. It's a really cool subject.
Mm.
The reason why that subject came to my attention because I happen to look at another subject.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a naked mole rat is?
I do.
Okay, good. Naked mole rats. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They have very interesting biological features. They really develop cancer and experience very little pain. They've been found to survive for up to 18 minutes without oxygen.
Yeah, I would for sure die long before that
Okay,
mark.
18 minutes, dude. What, 2 minutes? What is it, 4 minutes? I think it's 4 minutes without oxygen.
3.
Max 3 minutes without oxygen for
Typically.
majority of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they go into a plant-like vegetative state to do that. All right, they never.
Is that like Idaho or something, or?
It went in, it bounced around for a minute, and then all of a sudden I went, oh,
plant like? Oh no.
Hmm.
So what do you mean a plant like state?
Oh wow, I went and read a whole bunch more of that article too.
Yeah, I didn't hear none of that.
Vegetative state, like they're in a coma.
Okay, so they're not
A
moving.
vegetative state, not like
Like
a
a
vegetable, not
like a
they're
hibernation
they've
almost?
decided to cross over and their photosynthesis
Like
is occurring within the animal's skin, and now it produces oxygen out of carbon dioxide.
Hey man, that's what coral does.
Yeah, but like, wait a minute, that's what coral does, i.e., it goes to sleep and starts changing its
Coral? All right.
physiological ability.
What the way coral survives is it is an animal and it uses oxygen in the water.
Yeah.
But the way it feeds in 2 ways. A, if plankton lands on it, it has a stomach and it can grab it and pull it in and eat it. It also builds its skeletal structure out of calcium in the water column, dissolved calcium in the water. And it also has microalgae that lives within its tissue that photosynthesizes and produces sugars that the coral uses to survive. That's its primary food source.
Food source.
Its secondary food source is catching things in the water. Depending on the type of coral, it's more or less reliant on the food thing.
The food side of it itself. That blows my. This, you know what? Like, this planet is unfreaking real with the
It
crap
really
that
is,
happens
dude.
and occurs on it. That's, I think that's probably my underlying thing, Jake, because I know that you and I would be able to springboard off of something like this, like the idea of animals evolving and adapting to those very, very specific niche environments
Mm-hmm.
that only they can survive in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unreal. Did you
well,
see?
that's the thing is they're not the only ones that can survive in it. They're just the best ones at that moment.
At that
Because if something
yes,
else moves in, they will get outbred, or out competed for as for food sources and shit. I didn't word that very well, but that's how things. If there's some sort of climate change, there's something else that'll be better suited that'll move in. It's dependent on so many factors. But the point is, it happens.
It does, yeah.
And the thing that blows our mind is that it happens outside of our lifespan. Therefore, the time scale is sort of like
it's beyond our
wonky
understanding.
It's beyond our comprehension, yeah.
It's beyond. Well, you know why it's beyond our comprehension? Because it's beyond humans' ability to document it extensively throughout time.
Yeah.
But I think now is probably the time where documentation of these things are probably going to be
Well, yeah,
being on the internet.
because we can read genetics now.
Let me ask you something.
Ask away.
Somewhat of a subject changer. If shit just goes, poof, is all the information that's out on the internet? Where is all the stuff on the internet stored? It's in all of our computers, right? Is that where everything is? Is basically everything's a hub from all different computer systems all over the world?
No.
That's where all the information that's on there is. You know what I'm saying?
No. No. What are you doing right now?
I am fucking taking a picture of how your fucking face is frozen every time it freezes because they're all hilarious.
Oh.
And I'm gonna make my own fucking
Compilation
Yeah.
slideshow.
Yeah.
So the way that works is you have what are called servers.
Right. Okay. That's
And
what
a server is a single place where a lot of information, or not a lot of it, where it's where information is stored, and then us on you have. It's called it's called the internet because it's interconnected between everywhere,
exactly.
basically. There's
It's-
also a
it's
thing called an
exactly-
intranet, which is like a closed network. But the point is that things live on servers. Like the only way that you could access the stuff on my computer is if I shared it. Like if I allowed you remote access into my computer. And basically what a server is a computer that depending on
anybody can access
depending
to
on
get
how
the
it's set,
information that's
depending
on
on
it.
how it's set up, other people can access the information,
Yeah.
and it's set up
That's-
for high bandwidth with a lot of people trying to access it at once. So Amazon is like I think the #1 company that hosts information. So they have like these giant server farms that are like an acre of computers or something.
That's insane.
It's bananas, dude, and they're on super crazy security lockdown. Like you can't even get anywhere near those places because they're so secure and sensitive. But yeah, I mean, like if you go to a website, most
Imagine
likely
how hot it is in there.
no, they have extreme cooling systems because it can't get hot because that would compromise everything.
Exactly my point. So that being said,
Okay.
bring me back to where I was talking about. If shit just went down, those cooling systems are down. These servers
If
are
what,
gone.
if what went
Information
down?
that we have
If
all
what, if
uploaded.
what went down? You need to be specific about this
The
scenario.
grid, bro, the grid.
If
like,
all the
say,
electricity
all
shut off,
power, all electricity shut off for
we just wouldn't have access to the data. It would still be there.
the data would still be there.
Yes.
Okay, because the power shut off, none
Right.
of the air conditioners
Right.
need to run. Stuff's not going to get compromised other than by years of dust and earth movement.
Yeah, decay. Yeah, literally material decay.
Yeah,
Is the only
so
thing that would do
that's
that.
exactly my point, dude. Is there's no way for us to be able to document all the information that the mole rat may have to offer the human race because of its ability to adapt to all these situations, just like that alligator. Our knowledge,
I'm not following.
or our well, that's because I'm trying to go back to what we were talking about. Like I was saying, dude, is all the information our ability to document these types of things, document
Okay.
our view of evolution, something adapting to their environment, something
Yep.
that was some microbial thing that was able to live in lava.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
We don't have the ability to document it, other than writing on stone. It seems that our where we are right now in evolution and our ability to create computers and all that crap, the thing that we're finding is stone carvings.
Yeah.
That's the only way that
Yeah.
ancients could have passed information to us.
Yeah. That's
Because
true.
right now our ability and our technology is falling.
It requires upkeep.
Exactly.
Constant
so
upkeep.
if we're not here,
And lots
we
of
have
people.
nothing to pass on.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As
yeah,
of right
you're
now, what we feel is the pinnacle of human evolution, just like these animals, our ability to, travel great distances over quickness. I can talk to you, with a phone cord in my wall.
Yeah.
All these different things. I actually have to make sure that my computer's plugged in, otherwise it's going to die. Our ability to do all this stuff, we have no way to actually document it to be able to save it and preserve it for later on generations if shit goes bad.
I'm gonna agree with you, but I don't know for sure that somebody's not working on something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you know what? Just you saying it makes me feel better about the possibility of it. You want to hear a crazy other fact that came from this?
Sure.
Paper about this mole. The whole reason the mole rat thing was brought up because they think Mole rat may have a secret to eternal life
You
because
have
of
to
its
you have
ability
to
and the
eat them.
genetics.
You have to eat them while they're still alive,
Yeah, that's
and then you won't
horrible.
get
Did I
cancer
ever tell you
anymore.
about the horrible dream I had about I was eating a bowl of cereal because it was around the time we had the snakes,
Okay.
and I remember like eating the bowl of cereal and watching like talking to somebody, and the person I was talking to just started like was looking at me going, "Oh," I just started laughing. I looked down, dude, and I was eating a bowl full of fucking frozen mice.
Like pinkies,
Ugh.
like frozen pinkies.
Nah, I don't remember if it was pinkies or what, dude. I just remember feeling like the sensation of crunch was horrible.
Oof.
Anyway, all other mammals that have been studied have been found to confirm what is known as the Gompertz. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Gompertz mortality law, which states that the risk of death for a typical mammal grows exponentially after they reach sexual maturity.
Okay.
For humans, that means the odds of dying double every 8 years after the age of 30.
Whoa.
Because of the consistent studies they've done on humans and our documentation of all that, it shows that after 30, we just go. But this animal doesn't show any signs of that. But they still say that the lifespan is only 35 years. So it's like
Are you on your Wi-Fi or are you plugged in Ethernet?
I'm on Wi-Fi. I
Okay.
don't have an Ethernet cable this long.
You need to get one. I think that might help.
Oh yeah, without a doubt would help.
Okay. Well,
I need to do it. It's the same thing with my Xbox, though.
put that on your list of things to do. Well, yeah, but your Xbox is, for some reason, works fine. This requires a more stable connection than the Xbox does, I guess. But I would definitely recommend getting an Ethernet cable that is long enough and drilling the holes necessary and doing
I
it.
know. I'm gonna I need to do it fucking right through there.
Yeah.
Also, I want to note anybody that's actually watching, don't complain about my flag being backwards. It's proper if you're inside this house, but because of the way the camera is, it's turning the flag around.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I do have some very patriotic listeners, so it's good that
Well, I think that's an important thing to state.
While you on that note, I want to shout out a few people because I'm baffled by some of our listeners and where they're located because I don't know.
Like West Virginia and did
Yeah,
you say Montana?
hold on, let me pull it up.
And California.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's fantastic, man. It's cool. Get some West Coast and Midwest up in this East Coast situation.
Situation.
That's fantastic. Who knows? Maybe it was the doctor that did the study on the gators. They're actually crocodiles. I apologize. They were crocodiles.
Crocs.
But how mind-boggling is that, though, dude?
Yeah, dude.
We exponentially start our aging process that much faster. Something else I did want to bring up too. You know what, Jake? We do change subjects a lot, but I don't care because I think about things that I want to talk to you about. I was listening to yours and Johnny's podcast, dude, and I was cracking up when you guys were talking about something because I saw something and you guys were talking about the whole Louis C.K. situation and all that crap that happened when it happened. I really wasn't paying that much attention to it, so I got a lot of my information for you. But I remember you saying, like, why is it wrong for a woman to want to sleep with a bunch of dudes? It's okay for a guy to do it, but why can't a woman do it? And, dude, I completely agree with you. It's bullshit.
It is bullshit. But
that being said, I've heard this fantastic phrase one time and somebody that explained this.
Oh, I think I know it, yeah.
Yeah, it was great, dude. And I said it to Johnny today, and he loved it. A key that can open many locks is a master key, but a lock that can be opened by any key
is a shitty lock. Yeah, it's a shitty lock. Yeah,
it's just so horrible, dude. But it's so funny, and I always, you guys were saying that, and it popped into my head, and I laughed about. You know, when you guys were talking about sexual assault, I was laughing.
You were laughing. Oh man.
What a
All right. So anyway, like I was saying, we have somebody in Mountain View, California, downloaded almost every episode. So please email me.
Mountain View, do it up.
Yeah, I want to meet you. I want to know how you found us. I need some feedback. Let me know.
That's awesome.
In the Bronx, 12 downloads in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
Email me.
What's up, the Bronx?
superserialint@gmail.com. Email me. I want to hear from
Awesome.
you. I want to meet you.
The company I work for has got stores in the Bronx.
Word. Could be.
There we go.
Ashburn,
I'm a little
Virginia.
north.
Ashburn, Virginia. Hit me up.
That's awesome. I'm from Virginia. You know. South Virginia. My mom's name is Virginia.
No, I'm gonna edit that out. If you want to know, if you want to get that joke, listen to all the other episodes, and you'll find it in there. You'll find the answer.
Yes, worth the find.
And I have some other scattered ones from Florida, Montana, Missouri, and a few other places. So if you're listening to this and you do not live in Connecticut or North Carolina, hit me up. I want to know what you think and how you found us, please.
That's awesome. Nice.
Anyway, so what else are you going to talk about?
That I wanted to bring up. There was something else too. I had notes. I've been writing down notes everywhere, Jake. I've got so many notes, dude. I really did.
Well, I got a couple things.
Oh, there you go. I got something here I did write down real quick when we were waiting. When we first started the podcast, whatever it was that you were trying to figure out to make sure it was working right, you didn't have your graphics up or something like that, but you're standing there, and it made me think of the Man on the Moon that Jim Carrey did. I just recently watched that.
I haven't seen it.
Of him. Dude, phenomenal. Really, really, really wild.
Okay.
Definitely worth the watch. Definitely check it out. But,
did you watch the Jim and Andy thing on Netflix too?
That's specifically what I'm talking about.
Oh,
I saw
okay.
Man on the Moon years ago, dude. But the Jim and Andy,
I haven't seen either.
what I'm talking about, Jake, unbelievable.
Yeah?
Absolutely unbelievable. And it's really wild because of the amount of stuff that's been coming out lately about Jim Carrey and how, he's become this dude. He's an amazing artist too. Like the paintings he does and everything like that. I've been really kind of paying attention to Jim Carrey because I grew up with Jim Carrey's work. Like through the years, dude.
That actually explains a lot about you. The fact that, you would definitely have some Jim Carreyism in your personality. Now that you say that, I never quite thought about that before, but I feel like you kind of do. Like some
Jim
of your
Carrey is the only other person that I've ever thought of that I'd want to sit down and bullshit with because of the way he talked about theater on oh man, what's that show with Inside the Actors Studio? Was Dustin Hoffman.
James Lipton.
Yeah, with James Lipton. Dustin Hoffman said a specific thing about that, and I was like, I'd like to sit down with him. But you know what, dude? I've always known that Jim Carrey was the guy that I've always really, really enjoyed. So the Jim and Andy thing was really, really cool. I've always enjoyed Jim Carrey, and now that you always think about how much money. I remember when Jim Carrey was making $20 million a movie. I'm like, I do want.
Okay.
It's killing me, dude. I gotta fucking get a better Ethernet cable or something, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if that is it or what. I mean, did you try? What do we do? I had you run a speed test before, right? And it was like really not great.
No, it wasn't great, dude, but I'm still getting like 50, dude. It's nothing else is going on in the house, dude.
If you can do gaming, I don't think it's the house. It's got to have some. I'll bet it. I'll bet it's your Wi-Fi.
But why does dude? We had 2 Xboxes down here running, dude. I had my phone connected to Wi-Fi. You had your phone connected up with Jake, Josh, and Tyler. We were all fucking pulled to Wi-Fi. Why is it when we're doing this?
Why don't you do this? Why don't you Google the problem you're having and see what you find? I don't know.
I got shitty. I have shitty internet. That's what it is.
I know, but I mean, if we're both able to do online gaming at the same time on your Wi-Fi, why can't we just keep a video call together?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I can pretty much guarantee that we're using a lot more data by doing a video call than you use to do online gaming.
Then why don't I just disconnect from the video call, dude?
And just do audio?
Yeah.
That might work, but I like seeing you.
I know, I get it, but if it's gonna, dude, this is the thing, dude. Yeah, it's cool seeing each other, dude, but at the same time, if we don't see each other, look at like already.
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I didn't notice the difference. Okay.
I mean, there's nothing I can't. There's no difference to see if I can't see you.
No, but dude, I'm talking about with the audio and everything like that.
The audio didn't change.
The audio didn't change at all. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? No, it's not gonna. When it freezes, dude, it doesn't. It freezes. It freezes. It's not.
Right.
It's not specific to just the audio, and the both of them go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or what do you want to do? Call it a shorty?
I don't know, dude. I don't want to. I want to just talk for hours, bro. I want us to fucking have a fucking teleportation device that I could just snap to you for an hour and a half
I know,
and
man.
sit
That'd
in
be so
front of each
great.
other and bullshit. This is one of the reasons why I knew it was gonna upset me that we didn't sit together and bang out a fucking 3 hour one.
Yeah. It is what
Um,
it is, man.
it,
All right. Well, Joe can't get back on, so we're going to call it. Call this a shorty, and see you next time. Bye bye.